Is your refrigerator running hot? Let me tell you, I got a solution. A few months ago we were in Arizona and temperatures were already starting to climb into the 90s and 100-degree days. What we were noticing was our refrigerator was running in that 50-degree range, and that was just not going to be okay. I had seen a lot of other videos on YouTube about adding some fans to the back of the refrigerator to exhaust some of that warm air away from the evaporator. I didn't know if that was going to work or not. I'd seen some mixed results. I can only report what our results were, and what we found is it does work, and it works pretty well. So I'm going to show you how I did it. So we're going to add a couple of fans here to pull more of that hot air away from the coils, and it should make this run a little more efficiently. So if we can get more air draw from the lower to the upper and exhaust that hot air away from the refrigerator, it should run a little bit better. So the fans that we're going to put in, got off of Amazon. They're just little 12 volt computer fans. And so the idea is to be able to suck the air out from the inside and blow it to the exterior. The thing is built like a chimney anyway, and so adding a couple of fans should increase some efficiency. Kind of line those up. What I want to do before I do any wiring is I want to put these things on here, and then let's go see if we can put go put this back in place, make sure that we have enough room between the coils and the fans. I don't want those to touch. So let's get our zip ties. And we will you might want to come around over here. I'm going to show you. I'll do it on the other one for you. How to get these zip ties in there. You're not going to see the zip ties from the exterior.
Of course, you being you, you're not gonna want to see them anyways.
I am not gonna want to see the zip ties. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put 2 on, just to, and this way we can.
That way it's stable, but again, it's not too much.
That way we can see if we've got room. we should have, but we're going to assume that we have those in the right direction. Okay. Enough room. By golly, those are going to fit just perfect. Okay. All right. Got to be really careful on these tiny little wires. Give yourself plenty of room. So what we're going to do is black to black, red to red, and then we're going to beam them together. You could solder them, you could put a wire nut on them. I'll try to find a link to these little beans. I love these guys. So I'm going to just use the brown side as my ground.
So explain to us what the beans do.
So the beans, I don't know if you can see that. Oh, maybe I can get an image of this later, but inside there's these teeth. So when you crimp down on these guys, then the teeth hold all of this in place. What I like about these, and this is back from my field service days, but what I like about these guys is that on the other end it's open, so if you ever need to test voltage or anything like that, then you can just stick your probe into that end, and then it's an easy place to test.
That's very convenient, actually.
It's a great little deal. They're used a lot in the alarm industry. So we're just take those, making sure that you are in there as tightly as possible, like so, and then take your end of your strippers, they've got a plier on them, and then you just crimp them down like so, a couple, 2 or 3 grips, and that's on there nice and tight. And again, if we ever want to test voltage, it's right there. So I'll see if I can find them and leave a link for those. Okay, so that's that. That's the negative side. This is the positive side of the fan. Set those on there like so. We'll get another bean. Get those put in there like that. And just crimp them down. Now if you wanted to waterproof these or something, then you could certainly put some shrink tubing on there, and I may end up doing some of that. I've got some shrink tubing here, but I want to be able to test this out first before I get too carried away, and making sure that we have voltage to both fans and that they work appropriately. So we'll do that like so. I'm going to throw a wire tie on this. This is actually going to be the downside, I think. So we'll put these in here, tie that up, and just put one wire tie on it right for now. And then we'll come back and we'll put more on there as we need to. Dress those to where you don't have a bunch of loose wires. Wire ties are cheap.
And they save you a lot of hassle.
They save you tons of hassle. Okay, cut that off. Okay. Set this in here. This is, and I know this because there's a fuse already tied into this line, that's going to be probably our 12 volt side. So we're going to just stick this in here, and we're going to see if we can measure 12 volts currently on that leg. Can't seem to get that in there far enough. In, and there we go. So we got almost 13 volts right there, so that's what we're going to do. So on the safety side of things, what we're going to do is we're going to shut the refrigerator off before we tie into that line. Okay, and that way we don't run any chance of messing up a circuit board or anything like that. So we're just going to shut that off, and we'll be back and we'll re-terminate these lines. Okay, so we're just going to shut this off for now. Okay, refrigerator shut off. We'll go tie into those lines. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to cut this off, and we're going to re-terminate the whole thing. So we got 3 wires in here now. We're going to end up with 4. So we're going to go to a different style connector, and we're going to put 4 wires into that. These guys are, I love these little snap lock guys. They're awesome.
He's used them all throughout the old house.
Yeah, I'll leave a link in the description for those as well. Okay, so this is the positive side. This is the negative side. So this is our supply side. Everything else goes out. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up our outside to where the downstream side. Let's just go in there, pull back on those, make sure that those are nice and taut. Stuff him in there. You did a nice job. Those are in there nice and tight. Okay. And I'm going to save this side out because we're going to test to make sure that our fans are running in the right direction. Okay. So in the other side, we have our 3 wires here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to push our label up out of the way. Come in here. Again, we're going to snip. And snip. And one more. Now I like to put these together. One at a time. Don't cut them all off.
Because then you'll get confused.
Because then if you cross wire them, then you're going to have a short. So it's...
And the fridge is no longer going to be cold. It's going to be hot now.
Well, you could ruin something in a pretty quick instant.
Mm-hmm.
Circuit board, or cause a fire, or any of these other things. So anyway, okay, so again, we've got supply side here. These are our 2 supply lines, right? And this is our 2 other lines here, just like what before on the other side. We're going to set those in. Okay. So this is downstream. We're going to get our little jobby here. Shove him in there nice and tight. I love that they've got this little window here. You can see the top of the wire come in. That's the way that that's supposed to go. I'm going to put that in there like so. Again, that comes in. You can see that top of that in that window. Okay, and then we're going to save this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to test this. We still should have 12 volts here. Lead on each side. We don't have 12 volts.
We shut it off.
Oh.
We shut off the fridge.
Okay. That's true. So let me go turn that back on and let's see if we have 12 volts. Exactly.
Yep, it's coming from the board.
It's coming from the board. Okay. Is I want to be able to just touch these in here. And then see if that... I don't want that to... Okay, so we have verified that we have voltage to our fans and that they turn in the proper direction. So we're just going to go ahead and finish terminating these. Like so. We're going to put our fan back in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then we're gonna continue to match our wires that we had prior. Okay, so yellow white goes to this one because that's the yellow light. You don't want any little loose frays here. You want to keep that nice and neat.
Mm-hmm.
Push that in there to where that seats all the way. We got copper all the way across. That looks great. Okay, we're gonna come back over here.
We've got some loose strands on that one too.
Yeah, we got some loose strands. So I want to be able to keep my wires nice and. We're going to, yep, nice and neat. So what we're going to do is we're going to tie all this up here in just a minute. Okay. That's going to get tied in there. Okay. So this gets turned back around. And gets shoved in there. And we've got copper all the way across in our window. Right. That's great. Make sure that those are all nice and tight. Okay. So now what we can do, so we got that looped the way I want it, like that. Okay. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to tie our wire, take some wire ties and tie that up where this is nice and neat. Now I know that you're looking at this and you're going to go, well, you got way too much wire. Well, if I need to make a repair, I've got more than what I need to make a repair. So, and that just gets tied up back in here with the other group of wires. So I'm going to go grab a wire tie. We're going to get that done. And then we're going to put that cover back on. And then we're going to take a temperature measurement in the refrigerator. And then in a couple hours, we're going to take another one. Tie that up. So we're going to tie this and then tie it again to the wires in the back. 2 wires. I know, it's overkill. And that's just the way we roll. I'm just going to tie that right there like that. That kind of keeps everything neat. Doesn't have to be super duper tight.
Just
where
needs
it's away from anything that's reasonably hot.
Yeah.
Okay, so that stays there like that. That's all good there. Looks good. Good. Okay, so now we're going to clean up our mess. Pet peeve. I hate seeing all of this stuff.
Say hello to the camera, Mom.
Hello, camera.
Got our supervisor out here today.
Yes, we do.
I'm just super.
Okay. Cut those out.
Mule turds. I thought they were rocks.
Well, don't step on them. Jeez.
Well, they're probably rocks as dry as it is here.
Okay. So the way that we want that to set is that wire is just going to hang down right there in the middle, just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
then those tabs are gonna go into their homes.
You can put that in there, like so. And then we can get that back in there. Okay, that's nice. Oh man, that's pulling so much more air out of there.
It is.
go.
Do that nice and tight. So here's a few takeaways. Once we installed those fans, within a few hours, we saw the temperature start to drop in the refrigerator, and they got down in that 35 to 40 degree range. Direct sunlight and really hot days over 100 degrees certainly had an impact, but for the most part, this was a really good upgrade for us. Now, I'm not an RV tech, but it made sense for me to install those to see if that was going to make the refrigerator run more efficient, and it did. I was super happy with that. So I would like to know if you've had similar experience. Leave us a comment. If there's other upgrades that you've done to solve the same problem, leave a comment. I'd love to hear those. It's a community, and we all get better from learning from one another. So thanks for watching. Leave us a comment, a like, subscribe. Helps us out on the other end. And we'll see you on the next video.